I collapsed onto the hardwood floor during a severe panic episode, my chest heaving as the world blurred around me. My little brother dangled my anxiety meds just out of reach, grinning like it was his favorite game. Freak out more, Rudo, he muttered under his breath. In the background, my mom and dad sat on the couch, scrolling their phones without a glance my way. That's when it hit me: you can fall apart right in your own living room, and your family will just label it attention-seeking. 15 years went by before that awful scene played back on a big screen, in a downtown Chicago courtroom, and right as the clip wrapped up, something unfolded that caught everyone off guard. Hey, I'm Jordan Hayes. And for the longest time, I thought keeping quiet was the safest bet in my toxic household. We lived in this charming suburb outside Chicago, the kind with manicured lawns, white picket fences, and holiday lights up year-round. From the street, it screamed perfect family, but step inside and the vibe was heavy, suffocating, like every word or move had to be approved first. My mom, Claire, managed the house like a tight ship, all rules and no wiggle room. Everything spotless and scheduled. My dad, Mark, preferred staying neutral, hovering in the shadows like a referee who never blew the whistle. Then there was Ethan, my younger brother, the star of the show, the one they always said was going through a phase and deserved extra patience. Nobody ever asked what I was going through. As years rolled on, I just faded into the background more and more. It wasn't that I had nothing to say. I'd figured out young that speaking up only stirred up trouble. Around the family dinner, Ethan would ramble about his soccer games or video scores, and they'd hang on every word, beaming. The second I chimed in, the mood chilled Mom's shoulders. Tensed, Dad checked his watch, and the chat rolled right past me like I was a ghost. By the time I hit 15, I'd gotten pro at blending into the walls. The only one who really noticed me was my grandpa, Harold. He carried that faint scent of pipe tobacco and fresh coffee, and he listened to me ramble for hours without interrupting. Around him, I didn't feel like a burden or a problem. I was just Jordan, fully seen. On random weekends, I crash at his cozy apartment, helping him tend his balcony tomatoes or whip up his famous chili recipe. He'd pat my shoulder and tell me, "Kid, you've got more grit than they give you credit for." Those simple words got me through countless ignored milestones, like birthdays where no one bothered with a cake or even a happy birthday. I remember turning 15, sitting at the table hoping someone would acknowledge it. Crickets. Ethan had a big tournament that weekend, and the house was decked out in team banners and energy drinks. I kept my mouth shut, convincing myself it was fine because Grandpa would call, and he did every single time without fail. When my art school acceptance came, I left the fancy packet on the fridge for them to see. By morning, it had vanished. Mom acted like it never existed. Dad stayed silent. I rang the school myself to double-check. Back then, I brushed it off as no big deal. Families are messy, right? Schedules get crazy. But downplaying the hurt like that is sneaky. Over time, you don't even realize you're being slowly written out of the picture. Then, 15 years on, when old wounds ripped open again, I discovered an outsider had been watching the whole pattern unfold. It kicked off on a quiet Thursday night, one of those evenings where everything feels calm and distant threats seem impossible. I just wrapped a grueling shift at the design firm, slipped off my boots, poured some herbal tea, and sorted through the mail junk, bills, a donation request, and then an envelope that stopped me cold. A court summons. It demanded I show up in a Chicago court for a harassment lawsuit. Ethan Hayes versus Mia Ramirez. I stared at his full name for a minute, the one he'd taken after marrying. We hadn't exchanged words with him or my parents in over 4 years. Denver had been my fresh start, far from anyone dismissing me as overly sensitive or high maintenance. Yet here was the legal system dragging me right back into their gravity. I placed the paper down and forced slow breaths. I had no clue who Mia Ramirez was or what mess Ethan had stirred. Still, a buried ache in my gut flared up, tender and familiar. Later that evening, I broke a long self-imposed rule. I searched for my brother online. Mia's post popped up immediately, detailing off his sabotage ideas dismissed, projects undermined, gossip circulated, standard toxic workplace stuff. Until the final lines: Ethan's behavior isn't new, it's lifelong. Talked to his sibling about the panic episode years ago, and why the family worked so hard to convince everyone it was all in their head. My heart skipped. I scanned it again and again, palms sweaty. How could anyone outside know about that night? Me crumbling on the floor, meds tauntingly close but withheld, that smug look. Or the endless gaslighting after, calling me unstable, imaginative to fragile, twisting facts until I doubted my own mind. But clearly, someone connected the dots. The realization unlocked buried memories flooding back like wreckage in rough waters. Grandpa once sounding puzzled on the phone, claiming I hadn't reached out in ages despite my recent texts. The missing acceptance packet, gifts sent back undelivered, Aunts and uncles gradually dropping my name from conversations. It was deliberate. A systematic fade out. I backed away from the computer, hand over my heart, for 15 years. I carried the blame. Maybe I overreacted, misremembered, or expected too much. But reading Mia's words was like flipping on a light in a pitch-black basement. I grabbed my phone, ready to hire counsel and dodge the witness stand, then paused. They'd silenced me for over a decade. What if I finally spoke up? I set aside the notepad and pulled up an old contact I'd avoided forever. A guy from back in the day who credited me with pulling him through tough times, and who could now help me fight back. His name was Alex Rivera. In school, he was a shy kid lugging an old sketch tablet, steering clear of Ethan's popular crew. They ridiculed his sketches, excluded him from hangs, brushed off his ideas. I wasn't in the in-crowd to shield him, but I'd share my lunch table when others wouldn't. Fast forward, he turned into a data recovery expert in Denver, specializing in salvaging wiped files and reconstructing hidden digital footprints. When I dialed, he picked up right away. "Whatever you've got, bring it over," he told me firmly. "If they try burying your story, we'll dig it right back up." His assurance grounded me more than I expected. A couple days later, I stepped into his workspace. The room was compact, alive with whirring fans, monitors flickering code, hard drives organized on racks, a sanctuary where buried secrets couldn't stay hidden forever. I dug into my Taunted, retrieved a single relic from my old house, a scratched USB drive tucked in an envelope, marked in Ethan Scroll Home Clips 2010. I grabbed it when I left at 19, but never plugged it in. Just holding it made my skin crawl. Alex connected it to his setup. "Time to uncover what they accidentally preserved," he said softly. In seconds, a video player launched, showing our old family den. The footage wobbled as young Ethan's laugh echoed, panning to his reflection in the window. My gut twisted. I recalled that old phone camera. He filmed nonstop back then. Meals, errands, private talks he eavesdropped on. Then the scene changed. The lens dropped low, capturing my hands, scraping the floor, my body curling in distress, labored breaths filling the air. Watching it made my pulse race all over again. Ethan's voice sliced through, mocking and excited. "Watch this meltdown, total drama queen." The pill bottle swayed teasingly in view. He moved in, keeping it away. My parents lounged nearby, unmoving. I gripped my chair arms tight. "Turn it off," I murmured. But Alex's focus shifted. He'd spotted extra files. "Jordan," he said calmly, "hold on. There's hidden data." The drive contained backed-up chat logs from when Ethan transferred files years back, tons of messages between Mom and him. Alex pulled one up, 2 days post-episode. "Claire, wipe the clip and don't breathe a word to Grandpa. Appearances matter most." "Ethan, done already." Told him. Jordan locked herself upstairs, throwing a fit again. "Claire, perfect, stay consistent. Can't risk messing up your bond with her, too important." A wave crashed over me, not panic or sorrow, but clarity. This wasn't mere indifference. It was calculated. 15 years of my reality reshaped by blood relatives. I sat taller, dried my eyes, and said quietly, "This goes to trial." Alex agreed. "And Jordan, they're the ones who need to worry now." The day of the proceeding felt surreal, like wandering into a stranger's drama. Chicago's modern courthouse loomed with sleek marble and towering windows, mirroring a cloudy sky, threatening drizzle. I pulled my jacket closer against the brisk wind as I entered, each footfall heavy with long-denied facts. The gallery hummed with murmurs, rustling documents, chairs shifting. Mia sat composed with her lawyer at the defendant's side, looking determined despite the strain. Spotting me, her eyes warmed with quiet thanks and nerves. She'd endured the harassment, but also dared voice my very pain publicly. Then the side door swung open. Ethan strode in. He hadn't changed much. Sharp suit, confidence dried, the aura of someone convinced he'd earned every privilege. Claire followed, flashing her practice warm grin for social events. Mark trailed behind, hands buried in pockets. Gaze lowered, seeing me aligned with the defense. Ethan's composure cracked. He stared, blinking hard like processing a glitch. His lawyer murmured something. Ethan recovered, hiding on knees behind poise. The judge took the bench and hush fell. "This court is in session," she declared. "We'll start with the plaintiff's statement." Ethan approached the witness box with ownership, delivering a smooth account of his professional image, the alleged damage from Mia's claims. He painted himself as an inspiring leader, caught off guard by disloyalty. I observed him stack falsehoods into an impressive facade. Then his counsel dropped the pivotal question, "Your Honor, we'd like to show these accusations stem from delusions tied to the plaintiff's siblings' troubled past." The air thickened. Ethan avoided my eyes, but his clenched fist betrayed him. He planned to weaponize my history. The judge looked my way. "Ms. Hayes, you're noted as a witness. Please come forward." My heart raced, but Alex's prep echoed honesty. Shines on its own. Ethan's lawyer fired off as soon as I swore in, Ms. Hayes. You've been no contact with your relatives for years, correct? Yes. Could unresolved anger cloud your memory? No. I replied steadily. My memories are rooted in reality. He grinned smugly. Didn't your family voice worries about your emotional health growing up? They spread those worries privately, I countered, never directly. Never with expert input. It wasn't worry, it was control, whispers spread. My lawyer rose, Your Honor. Defense requests submission of verified digital evidence from a forensics expert. Approved. Alex advanced to the projector. Clicks revealed the first message, date stamped brightly. Claire to Ethan, erase the footage, skip telling Grandpa. Image is everything. Audible reactions rippled. Ethan leaned in. Misinterpreted. Alex advanced. Ethan, handled. Said Jordan was sulking upstairs again. Claire, excellent, don't. Stop, stakes are high. The judge raised a palm. Mr. Hayes. No interruptions during presentation. He slumped, pale and breathing fast, then the moment I craved for years. Prior to proceeding, the judge addressed all will view a home recording. Nurse mixed with relief in my stomach. The burden wasn't solo anymore. Lights lowered as a video rolled, me at 16, folding in agony, reaching desperately. For relief, my strained wheezes boomed like echoes in a cavern. Ethan's taunt rang clear and cruel. Freak out more. Weirdo. Spectators gasped softly. Parents frozen on screen. Inactive, the judge's brow furrowed deeply. Mia's team appeared shocked. Mark shut his eyes, regret evident. Claire watched impassively, icing the atmosphere. A side mirror revealed Ethan concealing the bottle, smirking triumphantly. As it ended, quiet pressed in, broken only by faint electronics hum. Ethan stood shakily. Doctored, it's fake, his voice cracked, tremors visible. Then, matching the case preview, he shook and yelled. Nobody gets it. She ruined everything growing up. She always, the judge interrupted firmly, Mr. Hayes. Take your seat. His outburst melted into sobs. Claire tried comforting. He pulled away. Facade crumbling publicly. For once, raw truth exposed their polished pretense. The judge composed herself. Given the communications, recording, and established conduct pattern and evidence, the court deemed plaintiff's assertions unfounded. Moreover, materials indicate prolonged emotional abuse in the household. Ethan muffled cries. Claire gripped her bag rigidly. Mark hunched, burdened visibly. The judge proceeded evenly. Matter dismissed. Plaintiff bears costs. Related findings. Forwarded for civil evaluation. The gavel fell sharply, closing a painful era. I breathed deeply. Truly, after ages. As people filed out, Ethan slumped defeated, makeup ruined from tears. Claire sat rigid. Mark neared hesitantly, murmuring, Jordan, I'm sorry. I held his gaze. He didn't avert. You should have said that years back, I replied softly. Then, I exited, shedding their quiet judgment, embracing my independent path. The follow-up estate case dragged on, yet its impact lingers profoundly. Reviewing Grandpa's will, the judge scrutinized diary notes, recovered chats, every smear portraying me as unreliable or distant. The orchestrated scheme became undeniable. It merely named what I'd sensed forever. Ultimately, justice prevailed. Prior distribution tainted by fraud. Ethan repaid around $150. Zero he'd spent on upgrades, vacations, luxuries. Losing the favorite status hurt him deeper than finances. His world unraveled openly. Workplace investigation started. His spouse sought divorce soon. He rented a modest studio downtown Solo. Claire kept her funds but forfeited her prized social standing. The book clubs, volunteer circles, ideal mom veneer shattered by her archived words. Social invites dried up. She turned into gossip fodder, not admiration center. Mark contacted again. Vulnerably no forgiveness plea. Just seeking perspective. I offered distance for his reset. No re-entry for me. Release came at last. I launched the Harold Hayes Initiative, a nonprofit aiding those escaping familial emotional harm to rebuild. It honored what Grandpa provided, validation I mattered. Soon after, a profound truth sank in. True family chooses to truly see you, trust you, ensure you never fade. The scars remain, but they don't define me anymore. I live lighter now, not from easier days, but from embracing unfiltered truth. If this hits home, drop your thoughts below and subscribe for more.